It must have laid something inside his throat, some sort of embryo. He started...
Look, man, I only need to know one thing. Where they are.
Yo, that's kick ass.
Anytime, anywhere, man.
Right. Somebody said alien. She thought they said illegal alien and signed up.
Fuck you, man.
Anytime, anywhere.
Are you finished? I hope you're right.
Stop as dumb Riddler.
Yeah. I mean, to your point of him being asked.
Now, hold on. Are you recording both the audio and the video? Because that's how you can do the splicing.
Yes. I put audio. I said audio and video. Okay, you are perfect. Please check any setting, however you want to do it, but that's what I hit.
All right, continue. So dumb Riddler.
So he's essentially, when you ask him, like, what are your plans for the rising cost of healthcare? I've got the best plans you've never seen. And he just goes on like that for half an hour. And you're like, I'm so puzzled. And I don't know what to do after this because none of that was coherent. But he gave us an answer and we somehow keep accepting it. So he is dumb Riddler. Like, he's just like, you're befuddled. I've won because I made you lose your sense of consciousness. Goodbye now.
Is there a guy who monologues and that's it?
Like every villain ever. I think.
Okay, fair enough.
I almost want to go old, addle-brained Penguin because he kind of has his own little mob thing. Like he's got like the sycophants and everything, but he's just like, and I'll run it. I'll do it. I'll run the city, and he's just gonna. But you know what I mean. It's been a long day.
No. I think you're onto something with that because he's essentially a street level boss with aspirations of doing more, but without any actual solid plans of doing so. Though,
I really hope our editor inserts a clip from Batman Returns of "You gotta admit, I played this town like a harp from hell," and just penguins it up right through the thing. Like that's
when Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people. I'm with you on that, but it's like, again, it almost gives him too much credit that he would be like that intelligent to be able to.
But he's not. That's what I'm saying. He's a street level guy with aspirations. And what ended up happening?
But Penguin has made a little bit of a. He's built his own fiefdom.
But he's only gotten so far.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like he's even dumber because
holy shit.
Yeah, go for it.
He's Kite Man without the sad backstory.
That's a dig at Kite Man now because
he has
is awesome.
He's got one trick, and nobody understands why anybody likes him.
Kite Man's really involved endearing. In all this. He's like hell yeah. He's
without
positive.
the endearing backstory.
That still feels like a dig.
The cartoon's done a lot to redeem him, though, kid.
That's fair. Yeah, the cartoon is. The cartoon is everything that has embodied that's positive about the character and fun. Like the comic book version is just like he's a one note joke, but we have the fun version. Catman, hell yeah.
His popularity makes no sense unless it is taken with other things that have possibly nothing to do with him, but can be laid on top of him. Like the comic book Kite Man, just like, but then like, but I put this on him and this on. Like, well, that's not really the comic book Kite Man. I don't know. I'm reaching a little bit, but it just feels like
I get.
He's got like.
I get.
So like one trick, which is be me.
Yeah.
So does that make RFK like Mr. Freeze?
Again, like it feels weird. Like all these different. It gives too much credit to all these features. Well, I mean, pseudoscience, not even pseudoscience, and I know like Mr. Freeze doesn't have a brain worm. Like at least,
RFK is man bad.
Fair enough. Either that or Killer Croc.
You know, there was a time where RFK like brain kind of worked, so I'm more likely. Killer Croc's good too, though. Because Killer Croc will eat a lot of roadkill, I imagine, given the opportunity.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, maybe that's better. Oh,
He has longer
King
moments
Shark?
of lucidity. What's up?
King Shark.
I don't
It
feel like
depends
he's
on
as
your
ruthless.
version.
Yeah,
Depends on your version because like cartoon version is very loving and a little bit above the water, and then it's just like, oh, all bets are off. Whereas like the comic version is mostly just like he's just a beast and like he's intelligent and he's far more
no.
formidable.
All right, then it's Killer Croc, and it's almost the animated series Killer Croc. I hit him with a rock.
It was a big rock.
Okay. Good job,
Perfect.
Crocky. Thank you.
Hey! There I was, holed up in this quarry. When Batman came nosing around, he was getting closer.
And?
I threw a rock at him.
So, Harvey, what became of the giant penny?
It was a big rock.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, now we got our grievances out of the way. Why don't you let everyone know what we're talking about, Pat?
We're talking about aliens, but not like any aliens, not just aliens in general, but we're talking about those chest-bursty, face-huggy, xenomorphy aliens that we all know and love, and that want to love us by sticking tubes down our throats and putting eggs in our chests that pop out and murder us.
That was a pretty good synopsis. That
Thank
is
you.
exactly what. Yeah, that is exactly what this
That's exactly-
franchise is about.
Yeah, chest-bursting party time.
I gotta ask, how
Yes.
old were you guys when you saw your first Alien movie? I don't know, because I think I watched mine as I do with pretty much everything that frustrates Pat. I watched mine out of order, so I watched Aliens first, and I want to say I was like, I don't know, 14 maybe. When did it come out?
Came out in '86, so we would have all been a certain age. I don't know. I want to reveal my birth year on this thing, so we would have been
You're
young
old as
enough.
shit, Pat. We get it.
Yeah, I'm old as shit. Definitely
So
under
I
10.
think-
That's for sure.
I think my parents kept me away from the Alien franchise, or I just didn't have the curiosity to explore. But I think I was definitely a teenager, maybe young teen, 13, 12, when I saw Aliens. And then I was a little bit older when I was like, oh, that's not the first one. How about you guys?
The whole beginning
I'm
of
trying to
Aliens
remember.
shows it's not the first one.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
But
I just
still,
thought that was all
as-
story. I didn't
as
know there
we-
was like
but
a
it doesn't-
movie.
It doesn't have it doesn't have a tube on it, so you don't know. Like at the time, like it was different in the way that they're like, no, here's aliens, and you're like, oh, cool, they're fighting aliens, and so you didn't necessarily, if you're not as media literate as you're as
If you're a dum-dum.
as media literate as a child, then you're like, yeah, aliens, okay, it's whatever. Like you just imbibe it,
Yeah.
and it's just like that's this. And if you're parents who are less than vigilant, you get to watch it with them, and it's as fine as long as they're fine. And that's what you did with a child of that age. I was thinking mine was maybe my first exposure to like an alien and a chestburster was Spaceballs in 1987, because like along with Star Wars, other things like certain I don't know if I saw them like at different times or whatnot, but it's like at some point I'm just like, I always knew of Star Wars just because I was
Okay.
born in the 80s, and I always knew of Star Wars. And I don't remember my first conscious thingingness of like, oh no, I want a lightsaber like Luke Skywalker. I thought of like, I want a lightsaber, and that's cool. And processing that, like I don't remember like, oh, remember already in the ether before it's in the zeitgeist before I came to be a literate, person in the world. So Alien was kind of the same way. So my first cognitive connection was the Chestburster and Spaceballs. Spoilers for Spaceballs.
And
That's
how old
still
are you with
pretty
that?
early.
What's up?
How
Oh,
old
that
were
was like
you
80
roughly?
That was probably like, I was probably 6 or 7 about that.
Okay, pretty young.
that-
Okay. Pat, I'm guessing you
Yeah,
were like
so pretty young. So it's like
2 years old.
it's like seeing that, and it's like I knew what it connected with, but I didn't have a
Okay.
complete context of like, I know the chest, like, oh yeah, that's from this. And it's weird because he's doing the hello, my baby, hello, my darling, my darling. He's doing the Michigan J Frog. So
yeah.
think it would have been late 80s. It's probably 7 or 8 when I saw it, because my mom liked the movies and she'd end up watching them and I would just sneak out and watch them. I don't know if I saw Aliens or before I saw Spaceballs. It's probably around the same time, honestly. I think I also saw Aliens first, the second one, because it was the action movie one. So I'm sure like my dad watched it too. But they were close enough together that I can't really distinguish them. And I distinctly remember going to the theater, and I think it would have been 92 to see Alien 3.
You went to the theater to see that?
Bruh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You are dedicated.
They didn't have the R rating rules weren't in place at that point. Remember, that was in high school.
I just think you were dedicated to go see Alien 3 in theaters.
I think my mom took us.
Oh, nice.
I'm checking the release year now to make sure.
I mean, those are all suggestions. I mean, if your parents are willing to take it, I think people just are like, whatever, just try not to smoke and drop your cigarette in the theater.
But I did smoke and drop a cigarette in the theater.
They didn't really care
they're more
too
concerned
much.
with people shouting fire in the theater beforehand.
Yeah.
That was like a legitimate thing where it's like, no, this is against the law. It's like, all right, but we'll allow guns in? Okay, cool. This is we're backwards. Whatever.
Gotta shoot the fire sign.
There you go.
Only way to stop it.
There you go.
Yeah, it would.
Only way to stop a bad fire sign is a good guy with a gun.
I think, can we just insert that with everything? Well, the only way to stop gingivitis is a good guy with a gun.
I mean, on topic, you can just say a chestburster, because that will stop everything.
I mean, there is some truth to that at this point, given the nature of the franchise.
I mean, we'll get into the AVP weaponization of aliens.
Oh, crap. We got to talk about that, man.
Oh, we're gonna try to talk about as much as we can.
Yeah, because we're talking about the video game from Capcom, where like they go across the screen and you could play as Dutch and two different aliens. I'm sorry, two different Yota, or that's the name of the predator. That's their species name, the Yota. So yeah,
is that really?
Yeah,
I just learned something new today. I've always just referred to them as predators, or Danny Glover's
predator faces. Danny Glover's BFFs.
Right.
Yeah, I think so. I think Aliens, and I've always gone back and forth if I prefer Alien or Aliens. Kind of depends on my mood that week. If I'm more with spooky atmospheric horror or just shoot them up, eat everybody's face, Aliens.
Yeah, I think I'm partial to the James Cameron one, as I am also his take on Terminator as well. I think he had nailed action for me. As a preteen teenager in those two genres. So I always prefer Aliens. I feel like I've memorized the lines from that much more. You know, Paul Reiser, and you get Bill Paxton. I mean, you get that.
It's just fucking great, man. Put her in charge.
Exactly.
It's a pithier movie. It's also very much like Alien is a 70s movie through and through. Like, evil corporation will making everyone on there expendable. Everyone's smoking like 3/4 of the time. Everybody's in weird underwear. Like, the whole thing just screams 70s like nihilism. And then the 80s, it's an 80s movie.
So dirty
just
and
action,
greasy.
shoot 'em up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I wonder.
Is it all the tech is dirty and greasy?
Yeah.
Very much.
Well, it's been a while since I've seen them, so I wonder what the body count obviously is higher in 2, right? There were 6 people that died in the first one.
What are we counting as the body?
Yeah,
technically,
like
they. Go ahead.
I was gonna say because if you think about it, every one of the xenomorphs that they kill means there's at least one of the settlers that they burst out of. So all the different xenomorphs we see is at least one dead person that they burst out of. So that's a lot of, like, if you're counting all the settlers that died, like all of Newt's family, that's the body count's huge. But
right, that's what I'm saying. In 2, though, I was just trying to refresh my memory, and probably any of the listeners who haven't seen the movie. I believe there were 6 people, counting the ones that in the first one. Right?
In one, it's a crew of 7. The alien is responsible for the deaths of All right, we're just going to do the spoiler alert right here for this entire episode. I don't know why you're listening to it if you haven't seen the Alien movies, or you care not to have them spoiled. That's weird. You're a weird person.
Stop it. Get some help.
It's also been like 30 years. Come on.
Spoiler alert for a movie from like 1979. You guys got it. You're fine. It is a crew of 7 people. The alien is responsible for the death of 5 of them. One of the crew member is killed by the other crew member because he turns out to be an evil android owned by the company. Because once again, 70s movie. So, and androids. Well, we will be dealing with androids to the point where they become the main character for a little while in the Aliens franchise.
But also not to be confused with Terminators, which do cross over with Aliens and Predator in the comic books. All 3 of them. And it's amazing.
So wait. And also to make clear, a Terminator is not an android, right? It is a...
Okay, time out. Stop the bike. Time out. Come on, stop the bike.
What is it?
Well, it's...
Cyberdyne Systems Model 101.
I don't think it's
got the
just a
organic
robot.
skin.
You're like a machine underneath, right? But sort of alive outside.
I
Right, it's got the
think
organic
it
skin,
is.
right? But it has like.
But it's not like
a.
it's not a synth because it's not from Weyland-Yutani, so it's not the same
I'm a cybernetic organism, living tissue over a metal endoskeleton.
company. So
Right.
It's not from Skynet, but I don't know what they technically count as.
I'm a cybernetic organism, living tissue over a metal endoskeleton.
It's like what's
Cyborg, right?
Cyborg, I guess, because it's a cybernetic organism, not an android, which is all
Android
synthetic.
is synthetic. Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
So, the Terminator, much like Commander Data, and this is from whatever AI is powering Bing right now, so it's got to be right. It's
You
not a
mean Skynet?
cyborg.
It's a friendly
It's
friend.
Skynet.
Hi,
It,
friends.
it does say the friendliest of all friends. RoboCop is a cyborg because he's kind of mushed together, human and
Robotics.
robot parts. So I do think he would be considered an android, Terminator.
Is he or is
What's
he
the
just
difference
like,
between him and Ash?
Shut up!
Him and who?
Him and
So the android.
I think
from
the fact
Part
that he's
1
like a
is named Ash.
paraplegic is what the difference is. He's more robot than he is. Because Ash she's just got the arm, right?
No, Ash is an android.
he's thinking you meant Ash Williams from Army of Darkness.
No,
Yes, I'm very-
Ash from Alien, the movie.
Okay. Yes.
Played
you're
by
right.
I wanna say-
I was.
Yes,
So,
it's Ian Holm.
well-
All right, I wasn't crazy. Yes,
I feel like RoboCop is. Oh God,
he's a cyborg.
is he though?
Yeah,
Because he started off.
RoboCop?
He's just a human with.
No, but he's a cybernetic organism because he has organic parts as well as
But I feel like because the Terminator started off as a robot,
right,
has
and then they
organic
add,
parts
they
put on
add
top.
on flesh on top.
and he's
I don't-
made to
Robocop-
look human.
RoboCop
So
is a
he's an
person.
android.
It's like if you got your leg decapitated or got your leg cut off, and they replaced it with a robotic part. You're not an android.
No, I'm a
You're
cyborg.
not a cyborg. No, you're not.
No,
you're just a person with a
cyborg
with a prosthetic.
Or a
That's what RoboCop
cyborg.
is.
See,
You're not a cyborg.
Okay.
look
I
up
didn't know that
cyborg.
you're the authority on this one. Okay, well, we'll let anyone. You're handling all the ADA
cyborg
complaints then. Okay, that's all on you.
Just say it. I feel like
Is a
you
being
gotta have floor.
a cyborg is a being with both organic and biomechatronic body parts.
You're just making up words now.
That's a real word that's
I
on
mean,
Wikipedia, so it got to be true.
All words are made up technically, so
Fair
Ooh,
enough.
he's got a point.
All right.
Yeah,
I guess-
language police.
I
Take
guess
your English degree and get your ass out of here.
Guess RoboCop is a cyborg.
You damn right he is.
there we go.
And Terminator is an android, just like Ash and
No, he's
Bishop
a cyborg.
and Data. No, he's not a cyborg.
What's up?
He's all robot. He's all robot on the inside.
But he's got the human flesh stuff on the outside.
Is it real flesh? I don't
Data?
know.
No, he doesn't.
No, Data.
No.
Data is an android.
Yes.
So Terminator,
And
we're
this-
saying, is a cyborg because of the human skin.
Yes.
Because the organic, because it's like living tissue.
Okay.
Yeah.
A polymimetic alloy over living tissue.
So, but
That's his
that was
line
good.
from the movie.
And
Yeah.
Ash and Bishop from Aliens are known as androids.
Correct.
They're called androids. Or, I'm
Yes.
sorry, they prefer the term synthetic person.
I feel like that's more offensive.
That's what they said they preferred.
That's
I
the
know.
preferred
I said I feel like
don't dead
it
name
sounds
these
more
the
offensive.
bots, for heaven's
Sorry.
sake.
Jesus.
It's not. You're no longer in charge of ADA.
God,
This is
cancel
You know
taking
what?
off the-
How about this? You got to hang out with the cyborg David from Prometheus now. Good luck, asshole.
Ugh.
That dickhead.
He may try
Yeah.
to violate you. Just for heads up, just between you and me.
Yeah,
May
he'll do
try
the
to?
fingering for both of them.
That seems to be his only like goal in life.
Nay,
Right, he's just
absolutely will.
experimenting. He's having a
dick is
good
what he
time.
is. All right. So back
So,
to
yeah,
aliens.
Yes. So the original two, the whole reason we're even having this conversation, because after that, there's going to be there is a downhill,
How dare you,
downhill
sir?
momentum for the movies.
It's all uphill.
So what? All right, aliens. The higher body count is definitely aliens, mostly because of Hadley's Hope, the shake and bake colony that gets shook and bitten.
And what was their goal? Their goal there was to investigate the disappearance of the colony, right?
Yeah, the colony. They lose contact with the colony. Like a week, like Ripley's back. Oh, we lost contact with the colony.
And in the first one, what was their goal? Just so we're clear and everything, so everyone's kind of.
So
on
in the
same
first one, they received a distress signal.
Yeah,
they were
they're
on
just,
their.
they're just like truckers carrying shit out into the outer reaches of space, and they stumble upon the space jockey, as he became to be called externally, and that's when they find the first corpse of an engineer, which is later on retroactively
just pissing me off.
dubbed,
all right.
dubbed that. And they also find the first egg, and that's what attaches to its face, and we get the face hugger.
Kane.
And they're just truckers to a degree. Like that's the thing I find so funny about. Like they just they're big eyes truckers, or what's that show? Ice road truckers.
Ice road.
They are 100%
slide all over space.
truckers. Is exactly what they are.
Yep.
All right, so Sigourney Weaver's a trucker. They get an alien on board. Do they actually dock anywhere? Is that what happens?
So they get a distress call from a planet. Turns out that the company Weyland-Yutani, which you'll need to know later, actually knew about this organism, this issue beforehand, and had told Ash, the science officer, who they do not know is an android owned by the company, that the crew's expendable and that the alien life form needs to be kept at all costs. So they get the distress signal. They're taken out of cryo sleep early. They land on the planet. Captain Tom Skerritt, known Dallas in the movie, John Hurt, Kane, and who plays Lambert? Lambert is played by Veronica Cartwright. They are chosen to go out and investigate the distress signal of alien origin. While they are out, I believe Ash I think Sigourney Weaver, who plays Ellen Ripley, finds out that it's may not be a distress signal. It may be a stay away signal. But these three go into the alien spaceship. As Ken pointed out, they find the space jockey / engineer / whatever we're going to call him this week. Who knows what they'll change with the canon at this point. And because they're stupid, they decide just to go digging around this ship. At one point, Kane sees all these rows of eggs with like this blue mist over him. He's like, oh, let me touch the mist. What's this? And he falls in. The egg starts to open. His ass leans over the egg, and then there's a face hugger on his face. Dallas and Lambert flip out and drag him back to the landing ship, where Ripley, who is in charge because first and second command are outside the ship, basically tells them, I cannot let you in. There's a 24-hour quarantine rule. I'm really sorry. And Kane Ash, the bad android, lets them back into the ship. The whole movie is solved if they don't let him in the ship on the 24-hour quarantine, thank you, because at that point Chestburster comes out of Kane and they leave. That's it. Leave that alien there. We're gonna go.
Yeah.
I mean, hypothetically, but I mean, just like we've seen, the whole what if thing, but there's also the idea that as things would make, if it breaks out on the planet, then because they leave him there, there's no way to say that the little chestburster wouldn't, or not the chestburster, would get back on the ship and like make its way through the tunnels, and it could still happen. But you're there. Yeah, I don't know why.
You mean the one's already attached to the guy, though?
Well, because he's got
so the facehugger implants the egg in. I'm gonna forget his name, and then into Kane. They let him back on the ship. If they would have left him off the ship, he eventually would have just had it eject from his chest, planet side, and they would have left everyone there hypothetically. But it probably could get back on the ship. There's plenty of historical records of them getting on ships and continuing on after you think, oh no, we got away scot-free this time. Thank goodness. No, he didn't.
I like historical records. Like, yes, these tombs we found.
Yes, these tombs. I can grab one right now, but yes.
These
historical records.
Secrets. Yes.
Yeah.
Every trope in these alien movies that then plagues every alien movie of the 80s and 90s is a lot of it is established right here. At the end of the day, this is a locked room horror movie. That's what it is. I also think
until James Cameron opens it up.
Well,
that's we'll get there, because that's the beauty of the first movie too. In a lot of ways, is it's very isolating. It's very much that locked door mystery of like, what's going on? What do we even know about this thing? And it is just a consigned thing. But it's also like we're also looking back at this now after we've had 7 movies associated loosely with it at this point. So it's hard to look back
9.
at it. No,
right? 9.
No, what?
9, not no.
No,
stop it.
Oh,
stop it! I'm not. Damn it! I think we should go over. I think we should go over the alien life cycle real quick.
Do we even know what it is?
Yeah.
The xenomorph life. Yeah, in the short.
Some of us know more because some of us already saw Alien Romulus. So
okay.
Oh yeah. So wait for context. You saw it?
I did. I've seen Alien Romulus.
Nice.
I can go to deep, sexy detail about it.
All right, well, give us the lifespan then.
Okay.
I think
do you want me to include anything from Romulus or leave that out?
Are you talking about the movie franchise or the Xenomorph's lifespan in general?
The Xenomorph life cycle. There is a small change made in Alien Romulus.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Yeah, thank it.
Step
Spoilers.
1. Egg. Spoilers. You got the egg. Egg. Inside the egg is the facehugger. Facehugger is a spidery crab looking thing.
Hold on. You gotta mention the queen though, right? Because the queen's the one laying the eggs.
No, because life starts at the egg.
Yeah. Let's not have this conversation.
Yeah, it's a whole
life finds a way.
Life starts after 9 months, and then you kill the babies. I've heard it.
Well, in this case, probably should have done that with the aliens. In any event, facehugger attaches itself to a host, jams its fleshy tube down into the host's throat. It's always sexual. They do some shit.
For those of you listening or whatever, picture a spider with a tail.
Yeah,
and the tail wraps itself around your neck to choke you, so that you open up your airway.
Open your mouth.
Yeah, and then they jam its flesh tube down, implant you with an embryo. At that point, you're a host. The facehugger falls off your face and dies. Just dies. And at that point, the host, for anywhere from it seems like 6 hours to a week. I don't know. It's very nebulous depending on what the plot needs.
Yeah.
Then gives birth, quote unquote, to the chestburster, which is a small little, almost it looks a little like a snake with little arms and evil teeth. It burst out of the rib cage. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's like a larval state for what would eventually.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at that point, I will now add the Alien Romulus piece in.
Okay.
At that point, it goes into a cocoon stage.
What the hell did you just say?
Weird.
Yeah, that's right. Cocoon stage.
What?
Instead of just like it sheds its skin and goes into a cocoon stage where it will come out of the cocoon as a full-grown xenomorph. The cocoon, as is well known, aliens have acid blood, and the cocoon also has acid goo in it and can also hurt you. But yeah, at one point in Alien Romulus, spoiler alert for Alien Romulus, they're on a wall is a cocoon that the alien is going to come out of. Which that's a fun addition. I like that. That's
so
fine.
I mean, it's actually it has been put somewhat forth in some of the previous movies and so forth that they do excrete a certain liquid that helps them to alter the area around them, because you do see like
I think your mic's cut.
Geiger art style. It's like they change and alter the. My mic's gone.
You're good now. I can hear you now.
I don't know what you just said. Okay. But they alter and build around the wall. Is my mic cutting out again? Is that what's going down?
You're good now.
We can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, I just keep hearing or seeing you react. I'm like, wait, what's going on here? So I don't know what's going on. But yeah, so they start to build and cocoon the station in Aliens with the goo or drippings that come off of them. So that was kind of in some of that initial things. And there's also there's another format too, where they say they had where they would collect the humans and use them to make eggs. And that's how one of the first iterations of creating the eggs was humans that were repurposed matter for that. But that's a earlier draft that got cut out.
Yeah, that's actually a scene from the original Alien where at one point Dallas, the captain, gets captured and Ripley runs into him later where he's becoming an egg. But is that canon? Did they include that?
I think it got, is that a cut scene? Because to my understanding,
that's
the
a
whole
cut
human
scene.
egg thing, yeah, that was cut out, and I just was watching some material recently and discussed how that was at one point the idea of where the eggs came from was that, but I think it's since been nullified because we got a queen in number 2 and they said, never mind, we got an idea, we're good, we're all good.
Because I feel like this is a chicken and the egg situation. Like you could have humans be the host, but something had to have started, right?
Oh, well, would you like to dive into what started it? Because there's a whole movie or two about that we could go into right now if you'd like to go in chronological order.
I'm just saying, yeah, fair enough.
I'm just saying we can do that, but at that point when the xenomorph is burned, all right.
So okay, just to be clear though, because we've seen in the movies that these things jump out of someone's chest.
Yes.
They scurry about for a bit, and then the next time we see them, they're fully grown. So what is the incubation period for them to cocoon and become full size? Because I feel like it's a matter of hours. I think it's less than a day.
I mean, it can be less than a day. It does also kind of depend on the environment. I feel it seems like they can kind of. It depends. Also, let's also note, because something we get from Aliens 3 is that the genetic makeup of the xenomorph is also dependent on what they implant themselves in. Because in number 3, the face hugger gets on a dog, and so we have a quadruped alien, and so because it's basically the genetic material that it creates a xenomorph off of the canine, so we have a different breed of alien that come into question. But I think generally it does seem to be like 8 hours ish, but like it also I don't think we get like a hard like stopwatch on their time.
No, it all the time on gestation and shedding the skin and cocoon and development. All of that is nebulous and basically for the plot. My favorite story about Alien 3 though is that they did try to dress a dog up as the alien, but it was a little too goofy and cute, so they had to go with CGI.
I can see where they might go wrong with that. I also wanted to know, because you said the cocoon has acid in it, right?
Yeah.
Are they immune to their own acid?
Externally,
like
yes. Because because if you think of if you pull AVP1 at one point, we're jumping all over here, folks. The predator, one of the predators, kills a xenomorph, and he's got a human there with him that she's there helping, and he's like, here, rips the head off the alien, and he's like, hey, look at this, I can take this, this finger and burn you, and it burns, but I touch it to the head, and it doesn't hurt the head at all and he gives her like this gauntlet, the xenomorph helmet gauntlet thing. So
which should be full of acid.
Yeah, I was gonna say that should just arm right off.
I'm trying to remember if he like sprays it with some kind of like, oh no, this is like
his neutralizing predator goo. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a predator. They got cool stuff, but he does give her like this, and he also gives her like a spear with the tip of the tail because that's sharp enough to pierce them as well.
Okay.
So yeah. Which that also ties into Alien 4 Resurrection, but we're all over the place here, folks.
All right, we'll get to 2. Go, Pat.
Yeah.
All right. So, Alien, way it ends. The most of the crew, 3 of the crew members, I think, 3 of the crew members have died. Ellen and the other 2 remaining crew members discover that Ash is indeed a dirty android working for the company. Ash tries to murder Ripley with a rolled up magazine in one of the weirder murder scenes you'll ever see. He's like putting it on her mouth so she can't breathe, but her nose is still there. It's weird. In any event, the other 2 crew members.
He's not a Terminator, okay?
Yeah, he's not. He's not.
He's not proficient in this.
The other 2 living crew member at that point, Lambert and I install, because I want to get everybody on there. Parker come in and they end up knocking Ash's head off where he's a goddamn android. They reactivate the head where he tells them, yeah, you're expendable. You have my deepest sympathies. Sucks to be you, stupid humans. They decide to blow up the ship. Alien kills the other 2 crew members that are Ellen Ripley while they're looking for the cat. They find the cat. Ellen realizes the alien is on the escape ship. Jonesy the cat. Ellen Ripley realizes that the alien is on the escape ship, I believe. So she tries to turn off. She tries to stop the self-destruct sequence they've activated. Cannot stop it in time. Gets on the ship. Ends up having to blow the alien out in space.
And do we know for a fact that aliens can survive in space?
Well, what do you want me to do here, spoiler-wise? What do you want me to do here?
Spoil it. Go for it.
Go ahead.
Spoil it. Spoiler. Alien Romulus. Oh yeah, it cocooned itself in like a solid like fossilization thing, and the Weyland-Yutani scientists found it naturally, and they tried to experiment on it. And you're never going to believe this, but all hell breaks loose. It's really surprising.
So when out in space, these things just cocoon themselves to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hibernative state. That's a word I just made up, by the way.
It like fossilized itself. It's a great word.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. You know who else I was interesting? The crew, until it wasn't interesting anymore and shit had gone bad.
It's okay. Just wanted his machete back.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So in the Aliens franchise universe, there's one of these aliens that Ripley hasn't actually destroyed yet, just floating around in space.
No, that's
well.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Because that's not the one that they find in Romulus, is it? Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
It is the one known as
That's
Big
cool.
Chat. The alien that Ripley fought and shot out into space in Alien is indeed the alien.
I don't know. I kind of like my idea of
scientists
this.
find
Another
out.
one just floating out there.
I mean, technically, the Queen is from Aliens.
Yeah, you're right.
The Queen's floating out there.
Yeah.
Just hanging out in space doing this.
I'm sure she fossilized as well.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's just what you do.
And then as it hardens the shell outside, and then she crashes down on a planet and begins the process all over.
Yeah.
And that's how aliens gets introduced into Star Wars. The fuck
I
did we
mean-
just did?
Well, for clarity, that can happen. I think we've seen a predator. We've seen the Yaocha in Star Wars before, but
Are we really?
I think we have in one of the. I want to say that there is a predator alien in Star Wars,
Is
but
he like
there.
best friends with Boba Fett?
I don't know. It's all under Disney now because they bought that division of Fox, and so that's why we're getting Avengers versus Aliens, Aliens versus Avengers, which the first
In the
issue just
comics
came out.
series?
Yeah, we can
I
talk
wanna
about
read
that. We can talk about Predator versus Wolverine if we want. We can talk about lots of different comics.
No, because I hate Wolverine.
Wolverine, but he's got adamantium claws, and he's like, let's fucking
It's just
go.
him getting burned with acid all over again. It's just torture porn for this guy. Tired of reading that Wolverine stories.
I mean, why you gotta yuck his yum? That's all I gotta ask. Why you gotta yuck his yum?
He can go be a sadist somewhere else.
Sorry, he likes to have a good time. Yeah, no. So Alien Romulus takes place between Alien and Aliens.
Cool. All right, that's awesome.
So yeah,
I
all right. So then, I mean, do you have to go in order now, Pat?
I will not say anything else. I'm going to stop my conversation of Alien Romulus since
just jump to
Ken
Aliens.
does indeed want to see it. Yeah, we're just going to jump to Aliens.
Okay.
So for Aliens, if you're listening to this, you've seen Aliens. Ellen Ripley, calm it down. Different one. Floating out in space for like 57 years because they missed her life raft. It just kind of floated through and nobody saw it. They finally filed it for scratch. Turns out she's alive, but everybody she knew is dead because she was in hypersleep for 57 years. They do the company has. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Yes,
it's worth noting because she asked about her family. It's like they do find her. They pull her out of cryostasis and they debrief her. Like, well, what happened? And she goes through a whole bunch of stuff. And they mentioned like what she's like. Well, what happened to my family, my husband, my daughter, her daughter. Scene. Oh, is that an extended scene? Okay,
but go ahead because I know where you're going.
Her daughter is actually seen in the game Alien. Oh god, there's so many different things. Isolation on the Xbox and I believe other platforms as well, where her daughter ends up trying to kind of go out in space and see, like, well, what happened to my mom, and tries to get some answers, and then an alien wanders into that one too.
Damn, aliens just have it out for that family.
Yeah, they're not fans.
It's the Hatfield and McCoys all over again.
It's a little Jaws and the Brodies, a little bit.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
little Jaws and the Brodies.
So, but that's definitely worth your time if you're
you and your bloodline.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about it. I haven't played it because it's just it's very much just jump scare the game along with Five Nights at Freddy's, and I'm like, all right, that's I mean, there is some like meta game to it, and like, okay, you got to hide here and trick this, but it just seems like a whole lot of stress that I'm not willing to take on at this point in my life. But
you don't want to solve those questions and help her find her answers.
I can read the Wikipedia article, good sir.
That's on YouTube, you can just watch all the cutscenes.
That's not you helping her.
Or is it?
Nope.
If you watch the cutscenes, that's how you help her. That's you're playing the game to get to the cutscenes. It's basically the whole point.
There you go.
Lazy asses.
Yeah, fair.
I did start it, but it has a really slow start, like lead in, because you're just kind of like, there's like junkers, your truckers. It's a lot, and you're like, okay, let's get going. I'm like, you know what? It took too long to get there, so I'm like, all right, I'm done with this. I'll watch it. I'll watch a Let's Play.
Okay.
But I always thought that was interesting, like interquel, where they're like, this happens in between these things, and I'm like, this also happens in between these things.
Is her dad alive?
No. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't ever finish the game, so I don't know if she got off the space station and went back to see her dad, or what.
I don't think the father ever comes up. I don't think so.
I mean, we all know it's a Xenomorph.
I assume.
Just stay.
I always assumed it was Tom Skerritt.
Oh, yeah.
I assumed it was Dallas's kid.
Fair enough.
Can't be Hicks. All right. Aliens.
How dare you?
Ripley's back 57 years, finds out that the company has done I believe it's a shake and bake colony.
Shake and bake.
On LV-426.
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake.
Yeah.
What? Shake and bake.
Hold on.
Shake and bake. Yeah.
The planet where where Ripley's crew discovered the original the original eggs and the alien derelict ship. A colony called Hadley's Hope. Very conveniently, at the time she is revived, they find out they've lost contact with Hadley's Hope. So weird. Who would have thought that could happen? Oh my goodness. Paul Reiser, who is a
mad about you.
He's mad about aliens. He's an executive with the company. Asked Ripley to go with them as an alien expert to go back to the planet, along with, I believe he calls them some tough, mean hombres, colonial marines, who will be going.
Oh man, we got another fucking bug hunt here.
Yeah. How do I get out of this chicken shit operation? So it's her, and I want to say it's like 12 colonial marines and Paul Reiser all go into the planet to find out what happened to the colony. Guess what? did not go well for the colonists. They have discovered the aliens. The aliens did what they do. Everybody got an egg to the face. There is only one survivor left, a little girl named Newt. No idea how she's very good at hiding and has a lot of secret places because it's been at least a few months, right? Like how long?
At least.
She's just.
I don't know what she's eating.
No idea. Hijinks ensue.
There's a lot of food left around, and she has like scraps of it in her little den. Yeah, they only come out at night, mostly.
Okay,
that's right. He got this guy.
Why only at night?
It's when they're more active. They're a nocturnal creature. Who knows? Because the engineers are jerks.
Okay,
yeah, there you go.
That would mean the engineers had a plan, and they didn't even have a plan.
Yeah,
they just wanted to because they could. They didn't ask if they should.
It's just because they could.
Well, there it is.
They stood on the shoulders of geniuses, and they brought it, and they labeled it, and they packaged it.
You got to hit the table while you're
doing it. As they say, Malcolm, go for it.
And now,
angrily.
See, this is an audio podcast. I'm like, I don't want to hit the table and cause
fair enough.
Scare cats.
Imagine you hear him hitting the table when he's saying that.
Yes.
All right. You'll never believe this as well. Doesn't go well for the Marines either. Turns
many
out
of which are James Cameron alumni.
Yes, it's a lot of James Cameron favorites in here. We got some Bill Paxton, who I don't remember names. Michael Biehn is one of them. Biehn
and the Hispanic / redhead
who plays Vasquez.
Yeah, Vasquez.
Yes. Who plays? Vasquez is a Hispanic colonial Marine, is a woman who is white and very white in Terminator 2. As she plays the adoptive mom, John Carter.
In quotations.
Yeah.
Your foster parents are dead.
Yeah. But yeah, Corporal Hicks. There's Burke, played by that's Paul Reiser. Bishop is also on the ship, and we see Bishop. Very early on that they're like, "Hey, this. Take his hand and watch you do this." And he does that over Bill Paxton's fingers. And he's like, "Ah!"
And Ripley not happy that there is an android on the ship, given her last experience.
Why?
She immediately burns all the magazines so that he can't try and murder her with them. Android's played by Lance Hendrickson, so he's very kind of weird and creepy vibe going on.
Pretty skinny white guy.
Yeah. Private Hudson is Bill Paxton,
who has the best lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Lieutenant Gorman, who is kind of the what's his name?
Is that the black guy?
Oh God, where's what?
No,
Major Frankfurt. No, the black guy. That's Sergeant Apone, played by Al Matthews.
Al Matthews.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Gorman's like the Major Frank Burns, where he's too wet behind the ears. He doesn't have the experience to go with his rank, but he just got it as likely being a nepo baby or something. And they give him like grief about it because he's constantly like, oh well, we're supposed to do this. It's like, no, dude, like we got to go. Like this is Frost is dead. We've lost Pharaoh. We got to get out of here. Like
and then if memory serves, Gorman later appears in Hellbound Hellraiser 2, so he too has got some horror and action chops on him. He gets killed by Julia. Spoiler alert for Hellbound Hellraiser 2.
Damn you.
On the night note too, Bill Paxton is one of the few people to have been killed by a Predator, an Alien, and a Terminator.
Yes, he's get the EGOT.
That's something I remember watching the interview. He's like, yeah, I've been killed by all three because he's in the first Terminator, he was in Aliens 2, and he was in Predator 1 or 2. I don't know what Predator he's in. He's in Predator 2. Yeah,
the Danny Glover one, the city one.
Yeah,
where he's
he was there with
where Los Angeles is just always hot and everyone's always sweaty.
Looks a lot like New York for some reason.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
No, I was just saying he was just following orders from the crazy. Oh God, I can't think of his name now. But the Utah, give me two. What's his name? He's got a son. Gary Busey. Thank you, Gary. Because isn't Gary Busey the leader of the
like science group that shows up at the very end?
PsyOps team? Yeah, whatever you want to call him. I don't know.
Exactly who I would expect to be leader.
Shows up in the last 20 minutes and gets murdered within 5 of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
She just left Danny Glover alone with his 6-shooter. He had it all figured out.
We gotta get through this so we get to the good movies, guys. All right.
This is the good one.
No. I'm talking about the good ones. Talking like the Resurrections and the Alien versus Predator Requiem. We got to get to the good ones. All right.
All right.
Aliens.
They land on
the planet.
Shit goes bad.
Find out all the colonists are dead. They have their first firefight with the aliens, where they cannot use all of their weaponry because it's basically on top of a big nuclear reactor that if they shoot might explode. Turns out Vasquez and her buddy didn't believe that and kept their big guns and started firing. This is where a lot of the lore with aliens, as Ken was pointing out, the kind of cocooning of the area. They run into one of the colonists who has a chestburster party. Aliens attack.
I like that reference. Chestburster party.
Chestburster party. The title of this is Chestbursting with Happiness. They, as Bill Paxton says, they got their asses kicked.
You haven't been keeping up on current events, but we just got our asses kicked, pal.
Gorman.
In the first fight, is that when Kyle or whatever his name is gets blinded because of the acid, or is that later?
No, that's later.
That's later. It's worth noting too that Michael Biehn, the one who goes on to play Kyle Reese is that's also he pulls out. He's one of the guys who pulls out a shotgun. He's like, no. He's like, you got to come prepared for close combat. It's like, again, they said no guns. What do you like? No heavy weapons in this. And
evidently, a shotgun's okay.
Yeah.
Also, I do believe she warned them about the whole acid for blood thing. It's kind of like, okay, guys.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing too. They talk about like a bug hunt. So I'm like, are they experienced in these scenarios? Have they fought them before?
I think it's implied that they fought other types of aliens.
Right. And so it's like that's the weird thing about them, like some of the vocabulary they use. But yeah, there are they do experience other species, but not the xenomorphs.
Every one of them were actually exterminators for the military. They all just cockroaches. It's like, another bug hunt.
Giant cockroaches. Got this all figured out.
Gorman
must be some kind of cockroach. Bite your damn head off.
The big boots.
Hey, you're on our turf, man. Hey, man, I cut you up so bad. You're gonna wish I don't cut you up so bad.
That's good.
Now just want to see John Goodman out there. If anyone remembers Arachnophobia now, listeners at home.
No.
Across the universe.
Fuck Arachnophobia. Don't like that movie. No. All right. Gorman and Paul Reiser and Ellen Ripley. So Burke, Ripley, and Gorman are still on the troop carrier that they drove in with. It's kind of the command base. Gorman, kind of just shits his pants, and Ripley keeps telling him, tell them to retreat. He just kind of shits his pants. So she goes up and just drives the troop carrier over there to get
the APC. Gorman, one of the cool things.
Yeah. Is that when she busts in a giant hole into the building?
Yes. And where where Gorman hits his head and is out for the next third of the movie.
Yeah, he was a waste of space.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, he was just slowing stuff up because he was there more for the company to a certain degree, not as much as Burke, but he's definitely he's a company man. So,
the company playbook all went out the window as soon as they started hearing the firefight. He was like, shit, I'm not prepared for this. A middle management.
I believe he's military, but he's
is he
military brass? Yeah,
yeah, he's military. He I get the Nepo baby. He was handed a commission from West Point right off the bat. It's not he was never a non-com. He just went straight to the top.
Now there is some. As with everything with aliens, because there's so many comics and things, there's actually some comic stuff that I'm not sure is canon that kind of explains the reason he got handed the mission is because Burke wanted it that way, because he didn't there's a reason they didn't send a full squadron of 40 colonial Marines kind of thing,
And
they want because they all would have died anyway.
And they
Ripley
and
they what?
They were looking there to they were going there to recover eggs, that they wanted to recover the specimen. That was the mission via Wayland Nutani and Burke. That was his mission, to get them to bring back a sample.
It was not the Marines' mission. They were there.
They were
but they didn't know that his mission was that. They were there. Their mission was fit what's going on with the colonists. Everybody gets the Marines get their ass kicked. They decide that they will have the drop ship come and pick them up. You're never going to believe this, but turns out while they were out hanging out there, an alien got on the dropship and killed poor Spunkmeyer. I remember his name because then at one point the pilot goes, Spunkmeyer, where are you? And it was the alien, and just
he's very angry over the comms.
Yes.
Fuck you.
Well,
like,
I mean, kind of necessary. Really, like jams its second mouth through her head, and then the ship crashes in front of them. And I believe this is the game over scene.
Yep.
Game over, man. Fucking game over.
And they mostly come out at night. Mostly.
If you refuse me, honey, you lose me. Then you'll be left alone. Oh, baby, telephone and tell me.